Hi, I'm Ryan Davis.
And I'm Kiernan Schmidt.
And we are Out of Office, a travel podcast.
All right, today we are talking about passports. Why these little cardboard paper booklets are still what we require when we travel. They're so easily lost that to me, it just makes no sense. Why isn't this digital? It turns out there's quite a few good reasons. And we're going to talk about a lot of interesting facts you didn't know about your passport. But before we get to passports, we got to get back into those mines, those slogan mines, and continue our quest for a tagline. Ryan, I hope that you're prepared. I know that you said that you were going to work all week, that you were going to, but nose to the grindstone, that you weren't going to do any of these cheats anymore on our quest for a tagline. We have one in the maybe pile. Out of Office, a travel podcast. This seat taken. It's very sexy. Might be too sexy. That's something I hear a lot. Might be a little too sexy. So have you done your homework? Do you have three you're going to present?
I've got, at least three really solid taglines.
And you've thought of them?
Well, yeah, I've thought of them using various devices and
sure.
algorithms.
Frameworks and marketing studies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I accept it. So I'm the client. You're going to pitch me. Quest for a tagline. Hit it.
Okay. Out of Office, what can travel do for you?
Well, it's Out of Office, a travel podcast tagline. So,
right.
You should also practice the presentation before we hop on air, okay? I realize you probably just put in so much time on coming up with these yourself that you didn't even think about the presentation. It's okay. It's okay.
So, Out of Office, a travel podcast. What can travel do for you?
What can travel do for you? That sounds very familiar. Did you steal that from something?
It might have been originally What Can Brown Do For You?
Ugh. What's that mean?
UPS.
Some sort of Activa commercial?
It's an actual UPS slogan that they paid a lot of money for.
Oh, that's a nightmare. I mean, travel can do a lot more for you than UPS. UPS can do one thing. They can deliver a package.
UPS is a logistics company. They do a lot of things, okay?
What else do they do other than deliver packages? They also take packages.
They take packages. They track them.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So they can do three things.
Yeah, they can do three things. They can tell you where your package is, and they can pick it up, and they can deliver it.
They can send it and deliver it. All right. Well, and what can travel do for me? What's the answer to that? That's what we tell you. That's the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, but travel can do a lot for you. It makes you grow as a person. So I think it's a really solid slogan.
I would put it in the maybe pile. Just I'm afraid for copyright reasons. What if we made it? What can travel do for yous? Like a little, like a gang, like a street kid. Like, what can it do for yous?
Like a little Brooklyn, like a little, like forget about it.
Like forget about it, exactly.
Yeah.
What can travel do for yous? You like that?
Yeah, I think that's not bad.
All right, we're gonna put it in the maybe not category. That's in between the no and the maybe.
I think it's probably a no.
All right, but promising start. I liked that you looked to inspiration for something that worked.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying. You bring in your A game. I'm trying to bring my at least B- game to this.
You have definitely stepped it up from last time, which is a low bar.
All right. Are you ready for this one?
Hit me.
All right. Out of Office, a travel podcast. If you don't travel all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. That one really doesn't work. But
I'm sorry. If you don't travel all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face?
Yeah, so this again, I was inspired by...
Is it a dirty? Is that dirty?
No, it's a Carl's Jr. slogan.
What the hell is Carl's Jr.?
It's like the McDonald's of part of the country that you and I have not spent that much time in.
What part of the country is it in? Seriously, I don't know that.
It's like a Midwestern thing.
How dare you say I haven't been to the Midwest? South Dakota is one of my favorite vacations that I've ever taken. In fact, there's going to be a future episode about the 43 presidential statues that stand in the middle of Rapid City, South Dakota. So if there was a Carl's Jr., I would know it.
There was most definitely a Carl's Jr. in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Yeah.
And their slogan was, if it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. And I think they were talking about cheeseburgers or something.
Why is the cheeseburger getting all over the place?
I mean, it's so messy because it's such
What's wrong with this cheeseburger?
It's
It's jumping out of my hand.
It's a very serious cheeseburger, and that's what happened. So
Yeah.
I don't think it works though.
All right, yeah, no, I'm vetoing that. That's going in the no pile, moving it right to the no pile right now.
So I really think that you're gonna enjoy this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for what it's worth, I enjoyed the last one. It was just terrible.
All right.
I just
The last one. This is it. This is going to be it.
Hit me.
Out of Office, a travel podcast. Why not enjoy the go?
Why not enjoy the go?
The go. Like
What's
going
the
to travel.
go?
Going to travel.
Why not enjoy going to travel?
No, enjoy the go.
Yeah, but that's why you're traveling, to enjoy it.
Right. So why not enjoy the go? Meaning,
nobody
why
would
not
say-
go and enjoy it?
Well, nobody would say don't do that. That's the whole point of why you're going.
Well, that's what we're helping you with. We're helping you enjoy the go, because without our tips and expertise, you might, make many travel mistakes. And thanks to folks listening to this podcast, we're going to prevent all that.
Some would say that making the mistakes is part of the fun.
Why not?
I'm not one of those people, but
Yeah.
some would say that.
Well, why not enjoy the go?
Why not enjoy? I mean, it's not awful. Is that stolen from something as well?
Believe it or not, that is the Charmin toilet paper slogan.
And that's just literally it?
Yeah, why not enjoy the go?
I mean, they should have what can Brown do for you?
Oh, that's so good.
That is so good.
We
All
should.
right, so
yeah.
this is going in the no pile, but I'm going to follow up with Charmin and get them in touch with UPS and see if we can't do a cross promotion, baby.
But I think why not enjoy the go has some, I think it might work. It's fun. People like to go, and anyway,
Actually,
think about it.
I would like to discuss going while traveling, because
I'm going to be out for that podcast, but
all right,
it's
well,
more of
that'll
a
be
solo show.
Solo episode. All right, well, I would say we've made some progress. There was something accomplished, but it wasn't landing us a tagline. So that means the yoke goes back on these broad shoulders, and I'm up next time. And I think we could probably do this segment a couple more times.
I think we can. Yeah.
And then we might just default to this
Why
seat
not
taken.
enjoy the go?
No. This seat taken, not bad for Charmin.
We've really done a lot of work for Charmin today. I feel like, is it billable?
I will say, Charmin actually lends itself to a lot more of these than I would have expected.
Yeah.
This seat taken. All right, well.
Can you spare a square, Charmin?
I mean, that's just stealing from Seinfeld. We're going to cut that.
All right.
All right, Ryan, I think it is time to take off so we can start talking about passports.
All right, let's take off.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
All right, Ryan, what do you think of passports?
I think they're romantic. I've always felt like when you have your passport with you, you literally can go anywhere. Like you can, if you need to get out of the country. Not anywhere.
You can't go to, where can we go right now? We can't go to North Korea.
I think you can go. You shouldn't go.
No, I think you can't go right now. I'm pretty sure that was part of the latest round of deep negotiations that our great president is. See, I'm trying to make it back up to those Midwesterners who are like, he didn't know Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
That's
the CEO of Carl's Jr. is a huge supporter of the president. So,
well, I mean, aren't we all? He's our president, like it or not. But also a nightmare. But I agree with the romance of it. But in my mind, it's easy to steal. It's easy to lose. It's easy to get soaked. It's easy to set on fire. And it's easy to fake. So why are we still using this dumb little booklet?
There must be a reason. What? I mean, there must be. I don't actually know. I'm going to be learning a lot with folks today on the podcast.
Oh, please stop calling them folks. All right. Well, first, I'm going to tell you some interesting facts about the history of the passport, and I think it's actually gonna add to that romantic feeling that you have towards your passport. All right. I think to actually understand why passports are still a thing today, we've got to look back to where they came from. So it turns out passports are overseen by a body inside the United Nations. It's called the International Civil Aviation Organization. Did you know that?
I have never heard of that organization.
So it's exclusive. It's an umbrella organization that basically sets the rules for how passports are going to work. And logistically speaking, this little book is one of the few things that everybody can kind of get on board with because they're not super expensive to produce, and it doesn't require any advanced technology to look, to stamp it, to match the picture and let you into a country.
Right. So basically every country on earth manufactures their own passports and into the regulations of this organization?
Yeah, exactly right.
Gotcha.
But as it happens, the U.S. passport, if you look on the front cover, I'm gonna blow your mind. You're never gonna have noticed this before.
By made in China?
Oh, does the Trump organization make these? Underneath United States of America, what do you see?
Some words that are in gold that are hard to read.
Wait, do you have words in gold?
I have something. Wait, what is that? Yeah, I have something in gold.
Yeah, it's not words. What's it look like?
Is it like a crown?
And give it a little feel. What's it feel like?
It's been in my pocket. It doesn't feel like anything.
It's a computer chip.
That's a computer chip?
We have a little computer chip in the front cover ever since 2007 in the U.S. passports.
So I'm holding this. This is my 1998 passport. No computer chip there.
Exactly. No computer chip since 2007. And the reason is, this is why you can take your passport and use it at a kiosk in an airport, because that little chip gives it the information that it needs to verify, oh, this is a person that is supposed to be on this flight.
Oh, wow. So when I check in at Delta, it's actually reading the chip.
Exactly. So you know how, like, I know I have always spent a lot of time trying to line up the picture to be sure. Yeah. As it turns out, it's really more about the chip than about that page.
Well, that's good to know.
And what's really interesting is, so while it's been since 2002, all passports have it, they decided to add biometric identification technology into passports using this chip in 2002 in something that the International Civil Aviation Organization called the New Orleans Resolution.
The New Orleans Resolution.
And it's called the New Orleans Resolution just because that's where they decided that it was a good idea.
And they all met in New Orleans. They were on the night of heavy drinking. They were like, you know what we need?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what these passports could use. And so now there is some limited biometric identification technology built into that chip. And generally speaking, it is facial recognition technology.
That's creepy.
So it is a little creepy, but it's really just a backup for the information that's already inside. It's like the picture that you already have in there. So that little chip does keep some of your biometric information, but it basically repeats what's already in there. But why can't we just be, scanned biometrically and allowed onto a flight? So why can't we just show our fingerprints? Why can't we just do an eye scan, a voice recognition? I mean, the 1,000 different things in our bodies that would let us just go through.
Because of infrastructure issues? Like you have to. Why can't we?
No, Ryan, you're so simple. No, that's not why. It's actually, I feel like, a lot creepier on that. And in this, I'm going to be drawing on a blog post that I want to give credit to. It's a Vice blog, a motherboard post by Louise Matsaxis. And we'll include a link to that in the show notes. And the truth is, it's because biometric IDing seems like it would be, foolproof. But in fact, it's really, really easy to fake that sort of stuff. So you can 3D print a fake fingerprint.
Right.
You can print contacts to put in your eyes to make them look like your eyes or my eyes. And then the problem is, what does the government do once somebody has hacked your biometric information?
And I've even read about people 3D printing faces to open up the Apple phone.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And do they just wear it atop their other?
Yeah, it's like you do like the Nixon mask or whatever,
That's very funny. I was going to do a Nixon impression, but thought better of it. So as it happens, this is actually a safer technology than if it was biometric alone.
Right.
But the other reason that you can't really roll this out is because, like you were guessing, the bureaucratic nightmare that it would be. Because think about, there are countries that are starting to experiment with, chips or cards or things on your phone, but it's really the wealthier countries that can pay to put that sort of infrastructure in place.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you travel now, you go to countries where they scan your passport, or where they seem to be doing something more technical with it, and then some other countries will be like barely take a look at it and just stamp it.
Oh, but I love that ka-chunk sound of the stamp. Ka-chunk.
Well, some countries don't even stamp anymore, right? Like I feel like there's places that I've been that haven't stamped.
No, that's true. Some of them are completely online. I believe Australia no longer does stamps, if I recall. I think if you have filed for the visa online, you can do it entirely at a kiosk and not interact with an officer.
That's interesting. I feel like I like the stamps, though.
Yeah, I think the passport as souvenir, as that sort of romantic signal, I do feel there's something very exciting and tactile about picking this up, getting it out of the drawer, putting it in my pocket. That's when the adventure begins.
Yeah, and then while you're on the plane, being able to flip through and say like, "Wow, look at I've traveled, and look, oh gosh, that year I went there." Like that's part of the fun for me.
Yeah,
and I'm old enough to have 2 passports.
Well, I didn't get my passport until quite late, so luckily I still have a few more in here.
Have you ever added any pages to your passport?
Oh my God, no! Have you?
No, I've always wanted to. I've been envious of folks who have.
That's absolutely the dream. I hope someday to actually reach the need an extra passport. I do love when you go to a country and they pick the one blank page and ka-chunk take it up and you go, yeah, just keep doing that. I want one stamp per page so I can get those extra pages added.
Do you know if there's like a reason why they pick certain pages?
I think that there are different rules for different countries. However, we will come back to that on a recalculating. I will dig up that answer. I don't know for sure.
Good to know.
Now, Ryan, I will say, if the government said tomorrow that you could have a chip, implanted in your pinky that was, the same ID chip that you have right there in your passport, and you could travel all over the world with it, would you get that in there?
I would, because I feel like I'm less likely to lose my pinky than I am the passport.
I don't know.
Not entirely unlikely, but...
That's true. When you don't travel widely in the Mexico countryside. You mostly stick to Mexico City. But I don't know, those pinkies. And definitely stay away from the Saudi consulate in Turkey. I think that pinky joke is going to go well. I think that I probably would, but ultimately I would still miss the romance, as you said, of the passport.
Yeah, and there's other like political implications with the idea that you have a chip in your body at all times.
And that is some of the concern, is that if they put your information on a chip, even this chip that's currently in your passport, how easy is it for somebody who's walking by you to scan it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's doable, right?
It is doable, but it's very difficult with the technology they currently use. So apparently, this is not like your simple RFID sort of technology that you have to be incredibly close to it to read it, and you have to be able to read it several times. So nobody's going to walk by or even brush by you once and be able to capture your information. And so, are we going to get to the day where a chip is implanted? I think there's probably a fair chance, but it's not going to be until way, way in the future, when the UN has already solved all the wars, all the climate, and all the famines. So,
there are still people in the United States that think like Social Security numbers are a plot for the government to track us down.
So, that happens to be true, but I agree that there are some outlandish conspiracies that persist as well. Now, Ryan, maybe the most fun thing that I was able to do in preparation for this episode is look at the FAQs on the State Department website that had to do with passports. And there's a real humdinger here that I wanted to throw out your way. I'm going to quote directly an FAQ from the State Department about passports. Ready?
Ready.
I received an endorsement in my new passport stating that I'm a covered sex offender, but I am not a covered sex offender. Who do I contact to ask about this? Can you imagine getting your passport back in the mail? And it says, covered sex offender. There are 3 parts of this that I love. The first is, I received an endorsement in my new passport that I'm a covered sex offender.
I don't know if it's an endorsement.
Is that really what we want to call it, an endorsement? The second is, I'm a covered sex offender. What is covered?
You have insurance?
Or like your trench coat is intact?
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, this is in the frequently asked questions. How many people are getting their passports back with sex offender stamped across the front?
But at least it's not happening the other way, right? Like, it seems better that it'd be over-identifying folks as sex offenders than under-identifying them.
By the way, the answer to this is an ICE email.
Really?
Yeah, it's an ICE email address. Let these folks know with the subject line, am I a sex offender, question mark? Anyway, I thought that was a great one. Here are some other winners. What pose should I be in for my photo? The State Department says, you must directly face the camera. Profile shots will not be accepted. Your expression should be neutral, with both eyes open and directly facing the camera. Photos with exaggerated expressions and squinting will not be accepted.
What if you're a person who naturally has one of those big faces where you're like constantly look like you're surprised?
Yeah, one of those crazy eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you're likely to be rejected a couple times around, but
that's tough.
I think a neutral expression is really hard.
Yeah. Especially when you get these pictures taken, you're at the post office or some horrible place. It's very hard to bring yourself up to neutral.
I actually think that the Postal Service is one of the great American institutions. So I think that's not a good example of a place. Sure, but I've been in a miserable sort of, convenience store.
Off-brand Kinko's.
Yeah, an off-brand Kinko's. A guy, Kinko's and Jinkos. And I guess, but no squinting. Also, even big features. How about squinty features?
Yeah, and you're stuck with this picture for like a decade, right? I mean, looking at my photo when I was 17 or 16, I was pretty wide-eyed. I was pretty, optimistic and excited about the world. Now you look at me 15 years later.
Grizzled, gray in the beard.
Fighting to maintain that neutral expression.
Got all those scars. What are the? It's not a permanent crying frown, just trying to make it neutral, pull it back up to some happy place.
I've got those tear tattoos on my face. It's rough.
Here's another good FAQ. How large should my head be in the photo?
That's a fair question.
I feel like how close should I be to the camera is a better way to phrase that. How large should my head be? It's you can't really determine that. You're not responsible for how large your head is. If you look like Charlie Brown, you look like Charlie Brown.
But isn't it weird that when you go to get a driver's license, the state takes care of the picture part for you? You don't have to BYO picture.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get a passport, which is arguably a vastly more important document, right? A harder document to get.
Yeah.
They let you go to like any 7-Eleven.
You can even you can submit digital photos.
Really?
Yeah, just taken with a digital camera. They specifically say that your laptop probably isn't high enough resolution, but in a camera you can take them.
Can you do like puppy ears, like the Snapchat filter?
Only if you are a millennial and insufferable.
That's me.
Other good ones. Can I wear glasses in the photo? And the answer is no, you may not. Just take them off for your passport photo, which I feel like is a really passive-aggressive tone because it's no, comma, you may not, period. Just take them off for your passport photo. Like, come on.
What if you're one of those people that is so specific, you look very, like, without glasses, you're unrecognizable, and you show up at the whatever country you're trying to get into, you show your passport, and they're like, this is not you have glasses.
Listen, Clark Kent, I don't know what you're trying to pull. I actually like to take the glasses off and to, suck on the little arm. It makes me look very intellectual. It doesn't say you can't suck.
But I think it would be, there's no objects in front of the face.
And it is hard for me to look neutral because I look so sexy when I do that.
Is he taken?
Another great one. This is in the passports for people under the age of 16 FAQs. Is it acceptable for my child's eyes to be closed in his or her photo? And the answer, I just think this information is very interesting. Quote, it is acceptable if an infant's eyes, particularly a newborn's, are not or not entirely open. All other children must have their eyes open and look straight ahead towards the camera.
Couldn't they do that sort of Clockwork Orange thing with the babies and like pry their eyes open?
Yeah.
Oh,
God. No, metal implement.
It's a little bit. Yeah. I think it's not fair for babies to be able to just show up at their passport asleep.
I think this rule is very hard because have you ever tried to make a 1.5-year-old with a neutral expression look at the camera?
No, but I don't believe 1.5-year-old should be traveling internationally because, You might have to sit next to one. So
yeah, they should get the person that wrote that, just take it off. And the answer should be like, why are you bringing a baby on a plane? Nobody wants that.
Nobody
Stay
wants
at home
that.
till they're 8 years old.
Yeah.
I think that the real key here is just take the photo right after they're born. Because a newborn, they say that's allowed. They can squint, they can look squirrely, have that shrunken face.
For 10 years if a newborn gets a passport? Because you have to be using some really good skin cream to look the same at 10 as you do when you're freshly born.
I just think make sure that you have the passport photographer in the delivery room with you. Passport, then placenta.
Open that eyes up.
Listen, I want to make sure everybody gets this tip. Passport, then placenta.
That might actually be a good slogan. We should circle back on that.
Well, starting to get a little. Well, that really closes out the passport discussion. I think ending on the placenta recommendation really feels like. But tell me, did you or did you not learn a lot about passports today?
I thought that was fascinating. I think this is a topic we should revisit because I still want to read you all my favorite quotes about American greatness from my various passports.
Here's the thing, Ryan. I actually found the research for the passport episode so enlightening. I want to make sure that we do a full diagnosis page by page of the passport. So in a future episode, we're going to pick our favorite quote and our favorite page inside passports. We're going to talk about the artistry of passport photos. We're going to talk about how do passport officers decide where to put that stamp. Honestly, I feel like we might need a spin-off podcast just for passport-related issues.
I've always felt like the thing about the Secretary of State says that I should be able to go anywhere I want. And it's like, this is the most powerful page I have in my life. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, it really meant something for me before, Rex Tillerson and Mike Pompeo were those people. Suddenly I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how much Mike Pompeo keeps me safe abroad, but Hillary sure did.
I mean, he certainly seems to enjoy traveling. He's yucking it up with the Saudis.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Well, let's close out the episode. I think we've exhausted passports for today, and let's get on to the last stop.
The last stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train.
All right, Ryan, why don't I go first this week? I feel like you often hog the top spot.
Well, I love the last stop. It's my favorite segment.
It is my favorite of our two segments. We have recalibrating. We have three.
We have three, yeah.
And Quest for a Tagline really is almost its own segment at this point.
I think that it might become a permanent segment.
But there's no it's definitely not a permanent segment. So please don't stop listening. We will eventually stop looking for a tagline. But we don't have a cool travel theme for sound effect for the Quest. So it's not an official segment. For those who are updating our Wikipedia page so assiduously, the Quest for a Tagline is but a reoccurring feature. It is not a segment. All right, my last stop this week, it's a little weird, okay? It's like Bean Club weird, maybe a little even weirder, okay?
Right.
It is a book called Bad Luck, Hot Rocks. Bad Luck, Hot Rocks. What do you think that is?
It's about when you walk across those hot rocks in Arizona at like one of those strange hippie conventions.
That is okay. So it's not that, but it is related to Arizona. Freakishly good guess.
Thank you. I'm good at this.
So it's called Bad Luck, Hot Rocks. It is by Ryan Thompson and Phil Orr, which is very funny given that it's about rocks, that his last name's Orr. And this is written about... Have you ever heard of the Petrified Forest National Park?
I've been to the Petrified Forest when I was a kid.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's beautiful.
So describe what it is.
God, I was 7. Don't
describe yourself when you visited.
No, but it is a forest where all the wood is petrified, and it's very colorful and it's very unique. I mean, I can't think of another place I've ever been that looked anything like the Petrified Forest.
Basically it's these preserved giant trees that the organic matter inside them has become hardened mineral. And they're beautiful, right? They're iridescent, they're purple, they're yellow, they're red, they're gorgeous.
Exactly.
And apparently there's an epidemic among visitors to the Petrified Forest where people will steal a little one.
Oh, I almost said that I have a little piece of the Petrified Forest.
Well,
I'm part of the problem.
This book will change your mind, okay?
Yeah.
Bad Luck Hot Rocks is just pictures of stones that have been stolen and returned to the petrified forest. And on the flip page is the letter that accompanied them. And apparently there is a curse that follows people who steal rocks. And eventually the guilt and all the bad things happening to them, the conscience makes them send it back. And so it's 50 letters and rocks that have been returned to the petrified forest. And it is a weirdly insightful look into how people interact with nature, how they think about what they deserve, and how guilt can play on that. I'll just read you a couple of the letters. I think they're pretty interesting. One said, "I am only 5 years old and I made a bad mistake." Oh my God.
That's so sad.
So sad. Others have a little bit more of a sense of humor. We've got "Sorry in Texas. The final straw was when I stepped through the ceiling of our new house. That's when I told my wife, I've had enough. I am sending it back."
I mean, do you think this is why I've had so much bad luck since I was 7? Yeah, I need to find where this petrified rock is.
Yeah, you got to dig up this rock.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's actually very tragic about it is that a lot of people want it to go back from where they took it. So you'll get a letter that says, please, this is an actual letter, put him back where he can be among the moonlight and shooting stars of that gorgeous desert. But the truth is that the rock cannot be returned because scientists go out and study these protected landscapes. And so they can't willy-nilly just throw the rock back out with the actual petrified wood.
So they just keep it in like a vault?
No. So what they do is they throw it. They probably place it. They place it by the visitor center. There's a stack. Yeah. It is described in articles as around the size of a truck of returned pieces, and they call it the conscience pile.
And can you, if you take from that, is it less egregious? If you take from the conscience pile?
You are a sick man. That they call it the conscience pile, and your first thing is, so we can take one of those. Take one of those. Does the bad luck follow that?
I don't think it does. I think
what
that
is
if anything,
wrong with you?
You're doing it a favor.
No. So I think, and apparently they used to have signage around about not taking, and they realized that was actually putting the idea of taking pieces into people's mind in the first place. You're not allowed to take home pieces of the national parks.
Well, I think this was back in like 1989. There were not those kind of rules. They gave you a can of spray paint when you showed up to the national park. Yeah,
you can see old photos of at Yosemite. They used to just throw the trash out onto the streets, so the bears would come and eat it.
Yeah, well, that's how you feed the bears.
And the tourists would gather around and watch the bears eat trash. And now you have to go to a McDonald's to see people eat trash.
Oh.
Unless they're a sponsor, in which case, McDonald's. I'd travel anywhere for a Big Mac.
We should do an episode on fast food, international fast food that we've had.
I avoid fast food when I'm overseas, so that'll have to be a Ryan-led episode.
Oh, happy to lead it.
So anyway, I'm going to be on the lookout for this book, Bad Luck Hot Rocks. Unfortunately, it might surprise you, this was not a bestseller. So if you look for it in used bookstores online, it's actually like above $50 almost everywhere you see. So I'm going to keep an eye out when I go to used bookstores and try to find Bad Luck Hot Rocks. It just seems like a cool piece of Americana, much like the rock itself, which I will not be taking because Ryan will take 2. Ryan, do you have a last stop?
I definitely have a last stop.
I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. I
hope it's not about Tampa.
No, it's not about Tampa. I have an exciting weekend planned.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I am going.
Local tourism?
I am going to Human's Best Friend. And this is a pop-up immersive experience.
Life is an immersive experience. You don't have to keep going to these dumb things.
It's a pop-up.
Is it on the 3rd floor of a London bus?
I don't know. But you go with a dog, and you and your dog experience this immersive pop-up together. It's for dogs and their best friends.
So what? Okay, first off, you don't have a dog.
I don't, but the ingenious thing is they have rescue dogs there that you can borrow temporarily to walk through the
So you get to torture deeply damaged dogs.
No, you're not torturing. You're showing them a wonderful, magical time, and then you're leaving them.
Okay. What is in the immersive experience for these dogs?
Well, there's a water bowl. There's a dog house.
I'm sorry. Did you just offer a water bowl as a reason that you are paying to go into an immersive experience?
Well, it's called a larger-than-life dog bowl that serves as a centerpiece of the space, filmed to the brim with tempting blue tennis balls.
Oh, well, okay. Hold on. You're starting to move me. I do follow the Doggist on Instagram. A lot of dogs would like those tennis balls.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And then you have a massive dog house that's the same size for you and your best friend.
Uh-huh.
And there's a...
Does anyone actually have a dog house anymore? I don't feel like I ever see dog houses. I grew up with dogs.
I had dog houses when I was a kid.
Did you have a dog?
Several dogs, yeah.
What were their names?
Smokey.
And like the bear?
Yeah, like the bear. He was a big black lab. He was a great dog.
Wow.
And then a little sort of mutt terrier named Scruffy, who both were rescues.
That's really cute.
I know.
I had two dogs. I had Oliver. He was terrible.
Yeah.
He was a poodle who only liked my mother and bit me often, drawing blood. And and then there was Gunther, who was an angel. And I miss Gunther. He was a little mutt. He was very cute, very smart, very affectionate. If I had Gunther, I would join you in the giant dog bowl.
Well,
I'd put on my swim trunks, jump right in there.
I wish I was taking Scruffy and not a stranger dog through the human's best friend.
Do they come with names, or do you get to name them?
I don't know. You don't get to keep them. I mean, you can adopt them, and you're encouraged to. But
is this whole thing a way to get you adopt the dogs?
I think it's one of the things. 10% of the ticket price goes to rescue organizations that are.
Oh, all right. I'm softening on this experience.
No, this is
now.
going to be a great
pretty
experience.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you are allowed to name the damaged dog? What will you name it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Can I suggest biblical? I think
I like biblical names. I've always wanted like a dog named Liza Minnelli. Even though I'm not a huge Liza fan, I
thought I said biblical. I mean, where is Liza?
If you don't think Liza is biblical, I don't even know how to begin with.
Dancing across that water. Okay, sure. Your dog, Liza Minnelli. Okay, so we got a giant dog bowl. We got a giant dog house.
Mm-hmm. You got the boneyard.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah,
is that all creepy. The dogs that didn't get adopted? They just toss them out back. The other dogs just to get to gnaw on what's left.
There's a backyard with Technicolor grass and blue skies and a picket fence. Something a New York dog has never seen before.
The blue skies. That's cheeky.
Yeah,
that's a cheeky little joke.
It says the perfect backyard backdrop for your photo moment. So I'm going to be Instagramming other people's dogs.
Yeah. So your tales of the Alice in Wonderland immersive experience is now this one. It seems to me like there's this new market popping up in New York City that's all about like a single good Instagram photo and charging you $70 for it.
Yeah, I think, in fact, if you could guarantee a good Instagram photo, people would pay even more than $70.
It's striking an idea that I'm having where, what if we could recreate the petrified forest right in Central Park? Because I actually know a place where we could just pick up rocks. They're apparently unguarded.
I think that would be an interesting sort of statement about the mobility of our national parks.
Yeah. The mobility of our national park. Yeah, there's something there. All right. Yeah. Well, National Park Rangers, you are on alert. Out of office is coming to steal your goods. Are there any other attractions
in the
after the boneyard?
Well, there seems to be some kind of zigzag thing that doesn't really. I don't quite know what that means yet.
No, you're not very. You don't look like you're going to be good at the zig or zag.
No, I'm not actually good with dogs. So I hope that it's. I hope they're all really friendly.
Do you think that they, this many dogs around? They're gonna go to the bathroom.
Well, it says not for aggressive dogs, but it also doesn't say that they have to wear any kind of diaper or. Do people do that with dogs? They must.
Yeah, I've definitely seen dogs in diapers.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
No.
So yeah, but I don't think going to the bathroom is aggression. I mean, it can be aggression. It's right on you.
Well, I think that they probably it's only like a half an hour experience, so hopefully you can have the dog go before. they're housebroken dogs.
Now, how do you make a dog go before? Do you squeeze it before you head in?
No, you show them the tickets and you say, hey, pup, show starts at 7.
Says right here.
Yeah.
No go inside.
No go inside. These dogs are bright. These are New Yorker dogs. They're used to the theater, okay?
Oh, do you think it ends with You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown with Snoopy singing Supper Time?
No, I don't. But that I can't believe there hasn't been like a live action You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown with the real animals.
Back to the dog show. No aggressive dogs.
No.
Probably any human requirements, or you can be an aggressive human.
I think you can be an aggressive. I mean, they're New Yorkers, so there's going to be some aggressive humans, but you shouldn't be aggressive with the dogs.
Do you have to bring your own leash? Is it BYOL?
It's a leashless experience. So you take the leash off when you get in. Yeah.
This just sounds like a disguised dog fight.
I'm super curious to see, if you look at the Instagram, it's like, it looks sort of like magical Willy Wonka for dogs,
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. I'm just going to trust you on that one. I look forward to a follow-up because I think this is going to be a weird disaster.
Totally.
Well, worth the ticket price. Goes to a good cause.
Absolutely.
So maybe we can end just saying, go adopt a dog.
Go adopt a dog.
I wish I had a dog.
I need a dog.
I have a pretend dog. Catherine and I have a pretend dog named Garlic.
Really?
Yeah, Garlic. Come on.
That's like an Edward Albee
Here
play.
He is. Oh, he's a Leon Burger today. What's nice about a pretend dog is it can change breed. You see a cute breed on Instagram, instantly, that's what Garlic is.
Edward Albee wrote the play about the baby, about a family a couple that pretends to have a baby, but millennials are too lazy to pretend to have a baby, so they pretend they have a dog.
Hey.
Really?
Hold on. Let me hold up Garlic. Tell me you can say no to that face. Garlic. Sniffing the microphone. Okay, Garlic. Thanks.
Okay, folks.
All right. Well,
until next week.
It's getting weird.
Yeah.
Until next week when we get to hear about how Ryan accidentally bought a dog.
And next week we're going to talk about our favorite jails to visit. I have a couple jails that I've enjoyed.
These aren't still jails, though. They are tourist.
No, they're tourist places. Yeah.
They're historic jails.
Jails.
Historic buildings.
Were you about to say beautiful? Definitely not.
No, I mean...
beautiful is a stretch, but yeah.
All right, so next week, we're going to jail.
We're going to jail. Ryan and Kieran go to jail next week. Until then, I'm Ryan Davis.
And I'm Kieran Schmidt.
And we are Out of Office,
a travel podcast.